Hello everyone and welcome to day 3 of the 2017 Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. We're going to get right to the action here with our second card teeing off. We're at Vista del Camino, 18 holes with 36 to go. Let's get to it right now, right here on Smashbox.
On the tee, David Feldberg.
And Dave Feldberg starting off with a great shot here on hole number 1.
Gavin Rathbun. All right, next up, Eagle Win McMahon.
And Eagle, like Gavin Rathbun, struggles. And they're going to move down the fairway here on hole number 1. And we'll get to it a little bit later, but Steve Rico, who was the other gentleman that should be on the card, had a family emergency. And we'll get to that story a little bit later in the round. However, Steve Rico is not here. He's back in California. And we'll give you some updates a little later on that. Now briefly joined by Steve Dodge, the Disc Golf Pro Tour director, as we're watching the second card clear out. Eagle McMahon is in, and again, just 3 people. A little earlier, we had a shake-up with the scores on the leader card. I caught up with Michael Downs, and he's going to give us the scoop right here on hole number 1. Welcome back, everyone. I have caught up with Michael Downs, our PDGA events manager. And as the buzz has been going around, there was a little bit of a scorecard issue or issues that took place here in the last few hours. And Michael, please go ahead and just clarify for everyone at home so we can put the rumors to rest.
Sure. What we had was just a clear case of miscommunication. When the scores were being recorded for the final 6 holes for that second card, Ricky had been recorded as taking a 2 on holes 13 and 16 and a 3 on hole 14, when in actuality he actually got a 3 on holes 13 and 16 and got a 2 on hole 14. So after all that is all added up, basically what happened was Ricky was assessed a 2-stroke penalty on top of the correct score, which would have been a 45. So he did record a 47, which puts him from the top of that lead card now to the bottom of the lead card here in round 3.
And this was something that was brought up. There was a question, and as always, per PDGA rules, it's really the first step is to confirm with the card mates and make sure that everyone can I'll say collaborate, for lack of a better term, collaborate and recall exactly what had happened, what scores were shot, and then you get everyone in agreement?
That's absolutely correct. Yeah, so we spoke with three of the four members of the card, including Ricky and Seppo, or excuse me, and
Yale.
including Yale Store as well, who was taking scores at the time, and they did confirm that those scores were correct and that there was a miscommunication. Obviously, lots of apologies were tossed around, and again, it's just a clear case of miscommunication. And you know, I feel like Yale made the right move by coming forward to us, and we actually approached him, and in the same breath, everybody was very honest, and there was never any issue of us thinking that there was, you know, foul practice at play right there. It was just, again, a clear case of miscommunication.
All right, well, we're glad to clear that up. Of course, very unfortunate for Ricky Wysocki. However, if there's anyone that can battle back or anyone that can make sure to maintain his mental composure, we know Ricky Wysocki is just that man. We're halfway through the tournament. We've got 36 holes to play, well, barring any amazing playoffs, which we like to have here. So we're going to get right back to the action, but I'd like to thank you, Michael, for clarifying everything. And again, thanks to Ricky and the rest of the group for making sure everything was taken care of appropriately.
Yeah, thank you,
Thanks.
Terry.
Let's get back to the action right here on Smashbox TV.
All right, on the tee, we have Kale LaVisca.
Kale LaVisca catching the right side tree. However, it gets some forward progress.
Next on
Second
the tee,
to throw.
Simon Lizotte.
Simon Lizotte will be second on the tee, throwing a putter, I believe anyway. Looks like he has a couple of options in his hand. No, and that is in fact a mid-range.
Next on the tee, Paul Macbeth.
And Macbeth looks to be coming in hot. He's past the pin, nice and low. We feel a light breezy tailwind here.
On the tee, Ricky Wysocki.
Earlier today, we watched the women play here at the Vista del Camino course. Let's get right to the action from earlier today.
Geez, I just announced both of y'all with all the accolades.
From just inside circle 2 edge, Kale Leviska gives it a light run. However, he's past the basket by 15 feet. Lazat's attempt from 34 feet is high and left. Wysocki left with approximately 15 feet. And opening with a birdie here during the third round is Ricky Wysocki. Clean up by Kale Leviska. Macbeth is in, and Simon will tap in for 3. We'll be back with you in just a few moments from tee number 2 right here at Vista del Camino.
If I lay up, I get a personal best. But if I hit the putt, it's a new course record. A beautiful right to left fading shot by Paul Macbeth. Ricky with a little bit more angle, however the tree tries to deny him. He still gets past it, as if hitting a goal post and still ricocheting toward the basket. Kale following suit with an angle similar to Wysocki's. He's going to finish left of the pin. And Lazat hanging it out even wider to the right and gets caught up by the tree. We've got the women also here from hole number 2. Let's get right to the action.
welcome back as Simon Lizotte very quickly stepping up. In fact, I have to confirm if he did go OB. It looks as if he did. So the throw you saw a moment ago was him throwing what is his third shot. Lizotte looking to take a bogey four here. Kale Leviska is at just about 34 feet, circle one. Kale's effort short. We'll discuss circle one and circle two throughout the broadcast, but circle one is defined by a 33-foot putt. Great putt by Wysocki. Circle one is a 33-foot circle. Circle two is at roughly 66 feet, otherwise known as 20 meters. Thanks to UDisc Live, we're able to keep track of stats and scores throughout these broadcasts here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. This is Macbeth from Circle One's edge. And that actually looked to be just inside Circle One. Paul Macbeth short. And the recovery, but the bogey four here by Simon Lizotte to open up on hole number two. Both Kale and Macbeth will be tapping in. And just the single birdie by Wysocki. We'll be with you in just a few moments from hole three.
Having trouble finding the discs you're looking for? Disc Golf Center has you covered. Your premier online retailer of disc golf discs and accessories features a live inventory of over 20,000 discs with the exact weight and color you're looking for. Take advantage of our free shipping within the U.S. on all orders over $12 and our customer rewards program. Visit discgolfcenter.com, the world's largest disc golf store.
And Ricky Wysocki has just thrown a forehand to within 10 feet of the pin. Paul Macbeth up second. Macbeth with a huge bounce there as that came in with a hyzer. Coming in nicely for Lizotte, comes up just a bit short. More action from the women right here on hole number three.
Ooh, nice shot.
And for the second hole in a row, Macbeth's effort comes up just short, catching the front of the basket. This putt, however, from approximately 50 feet. Lizotte wasting no time from approximately 20 feet. Ricky finds himself within 15. Easy cleanup for Ricky Wysocki. We're moving on a very quick clip here today. Kale Leviska within 10 feet of the pin. And Macbeth will be the lone par. We'll be back with you in just a few moments from hole number 4. A great hyzer shot here by Ricky Wysocki. Simon Lizotte was thinking that was going to just possibly pop into the basket. Second to tee, Kale Leviska. Kale goes wide around the tree, however it skips in nicely. Simon Lizotte throwing a S-line PD2. Great shot by Simon. And Macbeth follows suit. More coverage coming from the women's card right here on hole number 4.
Oh man, dang it, get lucky.
Lizotte from 26 feet. Leviska looking at just a foot or two inside where we saw Simon Lizotte. Very gentle crosswind that we can feel over our left shoulder at the moment. Macbeth converts, and Ricky Wysocki is 200% from the 2-foot range. We're moving on to hole number 5. We'll be back in a moment.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.
I think there's Amanda right there.
I went around it, I didn't even notice.
It's tough to say from where I was standing.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think those orange flags are drop zones.
Did I miss it? Did I miss the Mando?
You know, honestly,
Anybody
I
know?
think we should probably ask that group up there. It's tough to see from where we're standing.
It's hard to say. I mean, you got the video. I thought it missed by a hair, but
And of course, the conversation taking place here is Simon Lizotte did not realize that there was a mandatory on this right-hand side. I believe after he had thrown, the players also had realized that it existed. And Simon and the rest of the group are genuinely unsure as to if he missed it or not. Cale had said that if he did, maybe it was just slightly, but it looks like it's really tough for the group to be able to tell here. And there's definitely some uncertainty here as we're moving down the fairway. And I'm kind of just trying to take it in, uncertain to what's going to happen here. We're going to get into position. Of course, video evidence is not allowed. in order to make a call of this sort.
I can't say by any certainty, so I would say.
I didn't even pay attention to it because I didn't know it was man.
Yeah, what's the rule if you go over it? Because yeah, it doesn't know. You don't know what splits
Right,
off. Like,
exactly. And even then, I don't. We're so far away. I don't know, unless there's someone sitting there.
what's the rule?
Marking
Is
it.
it if you go over it? It's not, what's depends if it's like.
Again, some uncertainty here. Very difficult to tell. The trunk obviously has somewhat of a split here, along with the branches that then come off of it. And Paul saying he said, I can't say that he's missed it. In fact, all three players at one point now have said we can't say for sure that he had missed it. So it sounds like per PDGA rules, benefit of the doubt will go to the player. And Paul Macbeth is lining up from 69, maybe 70 feet. Minus 30. And I apologize. I was thinking that Paul was just outside circle 2. I was looking at the flag incorrectly. He was just outside circle 1, which indicates he was approximately 35, probably 38 feet from the pin. And Wysocki is off the side of the basket on this elevated green. Kale Leviska is inside 22 feet. And catching light left side is Kale Leviska's birdie putt. Simon Lizotte left with a birdie putt as well here after the deliberation. And it looks like there is a sizable backup on the next hole, which is quite frequent when playing the XL layout. Earlier in the day, I caught up with Paul Macbeth to talk about his game plan out here for this third round. We'll get to a word from our sponsors as well as check in with Paul Macbeth. We'll be back with you in a few moments. You're watching the third round coverage right here at the 2017 Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. I've caught up with our four-time world champion, Paul Macbeth. And Paul, coming off the Fiesta Lakes course yesterday, you had the hottest round at 12 under par. What was working for you?
Overall, everything. The backhand, the forehand, the long-range putts inside the circle. Had 2 splash out, but can't get too mad about that.
Now that we're moving over here to the Vista layout, the XL layout, do you feel like this course sets up any better or any differently than the other two that we've played?
Definitely the longest course out of all of them. I think this is the one I've been most consistent at over the years. Played out here a bunch, coming from California, had the Memorial, of course, and then the Fountain Hills Thrills and stuff like that, and then Shelly Sharp. So I've played out here quite a bit.
Is there any particular area or section of the course that you feel most comfortable, or maybe where you might be more aggressive?
Definitely the first 5 are like pretty much muskets. They're pretty open. You gotta put them close, make your putts, and then the final, I think 4 or 5 I think are all birdieable. So those are the next ones you gotta get. Those are musket 2s, and then just kind of getting some here and there throughout the par 4 section.
Very tight race here today above here on the leader card. Talk a little bit about some of your competitors.
Yeah, I got Kale in the lead, tied for the lead. Who else is tied for the lead? Who's the other one that's at 19 under? I've been back a little bit, but then I know Rick and I are at 18 under, but I know there's 2 at 19. Man, I can't believe I forgot who it is.
Kale, Ricky, you'd think I would know too, as
Simon?
I'm standing here.
It's
Simon
okay.
Lizotte, yeah, he shoots pretty well.
Yeah, he's coming back after that injury, so that's good to see him up there. But yeah, all solid players. Kale plays his game really well, tournament after tournament. He's always up there. And Rick can shoot hot anytime. And then Simon. It's hard to say. Last week he was up and down. This week he's up and up. So we'll see.
All right. Well, very few people have won this tournament as many times as you have. Let's get back to the action right here with Paul Mc.
Achieving greatness requires hundreds of days of preparation. why the people at Vibram have worked for over 3 years to make their first ever distance driver the longest and straightest in the game. Introducing the new Vibram Lace, helping you achieve your greatness.
And welcome back. We are here on hole number 6. We have caught up with the second card. This is a common backup position, and as we do that, I'll go ahead and give you some scores as we're through 5 holes thus far. We have Ricky Wysocki 4 down for the round through 5 holes. Cale Leviska 3 under par, tied with Ricky Wysocki at 22 under overall. Eagle McMahon at 4 under par through the first 5 holes. Simon Lizotte at 2 down. Dave Felberg and Paul Macbeth both sitting at 20 under overall, with Felberg at 3 and Macbeth at 2 respectively. Dustin Keegan, Nate Sexton, and Devin Owens are all in a 3-way tie for 7th place at 19 under par. Thus far here on hole number 6, one of the longest holes in the Memorial Championships, measuring in at 783 feet. This is a par 4. The average score thus far is 4.24. So the field overall playing this currently in an over par consistency. There's been 21% have been birdies, 45% pars, 23% have been bogeys, and 11% have been double bogey or worse thus far here on hole number 6. Cale Leviska opting for the low right side hyzer gap. A number of skips later, that works out very well for him on the dry Arizona grass. Lizotte with a turnover and has crushed this shot. Huge shot by Simon Lizotte. We'll see how Ricky Wysocki answers. Ricky, it looks to be lining up a roller. tough to tell if Ricky had slipped on the tee or not. That has turned over and is rolling very quickly, but to the right-hand side. And there has been an element of OB played over there throughout the years. Looks like Paul Macbeth is lining up a backhand shot. And Macbeth duplicating LaVisca's efforts with a slightly further result. That should work here on the par 4. We've got women's footage from here on hole 6. We'll be back in a moment.
Oh, yes. Cut.
Drop.
And Kale Aviska with a high right hyzer shot. Gallery approves. The flags that you are seeing out here on the course directly in front of Kale or someone in front of Paul Macbeth, those are actually distance indicators. It looks like they may be OB indicators, as you see so commonly. However, these are distance indicators for the amount left to the pin. And right now, Paul Macbeth is waiting on a parallel fairway. Looks as if we have a left-handed thrower that will probably be coming just over our heads. He's done just that as he is approaching hole number 14's par 4. Paul will wait for the above fairway to clear out. And a huge skip by Paul Macbeth, who's gone destroyer in terms of tee and approach shots. You know, a hole is very long when you have Paul Macbeth throwing 2 destroyer shots in a row. Ricky Wysocki is pacing himself as if he is just coming in from the OB area. I believe his roller did in fact carry up and to the right, finding him OB. He should have a relatively clean look at the basket. He looks to be just inside 350 feet, approximately 325 to the pin.
Did you say he was out, Kale?
We'd like to thank UDisc Live for all of the amazing stats and scores. We'd also like to thank all of the scorekeepers that have been out here tirelessly entering in the various throws by our competitors. Simon Lizotte, last to throw. And like others, Simon playing the wide hyzer skip. Very sizable gallery has amassed here on hole number 6. We're going to have a very lengthy walk over to the tee of 7, which is the second par 4 of the round. After this hole, we will move across the park to get to the middle third of the course. Cale Leviska will be up first to putt for birdie 3 from 35 feet. Just outside circle 1, Cale converts. And Ricky's lips out on the right side. Macbeth good for the birdie 3. He's going to pick up a few strokes here on Ricky Wysocki. And Simon Lizotte, who has gone past the pin after his second shot. And Simon's spin putt is in. Ricky will clean up. Again, a very lengthy walk over to the middle third of the course. Stay tuned. You're watching live disc golf right here on Smashbox TV and the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Catching up with me now is our 2008 PDGA World Champion, Dave Fehlberg. And Dave, here you are contending at the Memorial Championships presented by Discraft, but you're not in the Masters division, which you won just a week ago. What's going on here?
Well, you know, the surgery was only 9 months ago. It's supposed to take 18 months to heal, so I thought I'd take it easy last week and get used to it. It was fun playing with those guys, and I look forward to playing with them more. But here I figured a master score and a pro score are very similar. There's not much distance, and I know the courses, and I just want to see if I can, still play with the guys after, you have the surgery and they say you'll never be the same. And so, my game is different, but I was just curious if it was at the same level.
So, briefly tell everyone exactly what this surgery was that took you out of commission for all of last year.
The scar right here in my neck. It's the same as Peyton Manning. They come in through and they remove your C5, C6. They put cadaver bone in, put a plate on, put it back together, and then 18 months later, you're supposed to be all new. Well, it's only 9 months later. So they said because the average age is 58 of the surgery and I was only 38 because of disc golf, that I should heal quicker. So I have, and I'm a little sore in the arm and a little rusty. You see my putting's like 40th in the field, but tried my best.
All right. Are you also going to get sponsored by Papa John's then?
It would be nice to get sponsored. It's one of my favorite pizzas. I love that garlic dipping sauce. But hey, tomorrow we'll get to check out the car. It's out at the fountain. I can put it out there today, the new Kia Soul.
Yes, and, so that was going to be my next question. You're jumping ahead of me.
Oh.
The Next Generation Tour has been huge. Everybody's talking about it. It's kicking off, and you guys just announced, and we've been working with Smashbox, but you just announced that a Kia Soul is going to be given away at the end of 119 tournaments that take place. A grand prize. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Kia Soul Plus. We got it out at the fountain right now off 18's green, so you'll see it tomorrow when the pros play. And hopefully Terry will come up to me and I'll give you a little walk around and show you what you're winning. Just trying to, take that to the next level and allow amateurs to have some kind of thing to play on all year and keep track of, and, just something new and exciting, and, hopefully it'll help grow the overall amateur disc golf.
Would you like me to take it for a test drive, maybe around the fountain?
Feel free. I'd love to get you in the camera taking it for a test drive around the fountain. They're letting us drive it around the grass, so maybe you could drive it right around the property. That would be pretty funny.
Well, the one person who shouldn't touch that would be Chris Herron, but that's another story for us older school golfers. So Next Generation Tour, where can they find more information?
NextGenerationTour.com and DiscGolfScene.com. March 7th is our registration. And sign up quick, because there's only 54 spots in each event. And if you sign up for multiple events and you end up qualifying, we're going to refund you back. So make sure you get in as many as you're going to try to qualify in. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow in the top groups, and I'll be able to show you the car.
All right, this is Dave Feldberg, your 2008 world champion. He's now Masters age and eligible, but he's here competing with the young guns. We'll see more of him throughout the weekend. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Terry. Appreciate it.
Talk about the Shrike a little bit. Very much like a turn, a little bit longer, a little bit faster. It is not a disc you really want to throw into the wind. No wind situation, downwind. Downwind is awesome. It's a disc that you can really crank starting on a hyzer, and it'll give you a lot of distance. It'll stretch out a 350 thrower to 375, maybe even 400.
The Shrike is a speed 13 disc, so obviously going to have a pretty wide rim, but it's got a nice comfortable feel in the hand. Fairly shallow, but it's got a pretty easy high-speed turn where I'm able to get it out and then get a kind of a late flip and glide. Quick disc, easy kind of effortless distance.
Could go right into my lineup as one of my distance drivers. It has potential to possibly fly further than some of my other drivers like my Turn and my Destroyer. Yeah, I like how it feels. I like the G-Star plastic. I think it's a pretty good disc.
And welcome back to hole number 7, the second par 4 of the round, measuring in at 645 feet. Great shot by Cale Leviska. Simon looking for a little uplift here. Great shot. I think I heard the ice cream truck in the background. I'm ready. And a gasp of air as Paul Macbeth narrowly misses one of the light poles. And Wysocki with a straight shot that's going to have a little hyzer skip to it. Finishes nicely. We've got more action from the women's round earlier today, right here from hole number 7.
You're lucky. Got it. I got it. And a great forehand shot by Wysocki, outstretched to the right side. Even after getting slightly hung up by the tree branches, Macbeth seems to have one of the furthest drives here. He'll have a standstill approach here. And that comes in, and that'll work. Easy approach for Simon Lizotte.
And this group making very quick work here of the par 4, relatively easy, all finding themselves within 15 feet of the pin. Some of you may have heard the crunchy brown grass here as I was walking down the fairway. I forgot my hammer pants this weekend, so you're going to have to listen to the grass as we walk through. Simon Lizotte is going to be tapping in 4 birdies right here on hole number 7. We'll be back in a few moments with a beautiful shot from hole 8. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. The heroics from Anthony Barella. We've caught up with the 3rd card on hole number 8. Rarely do we see a backup take place. Typically, hole number 9 gets somewhat congested. I believe Anthony Barella was, in fact, out of bounds. I believe that is. Of course, we could check udisclive.com. He's canned a huge putt. Devin Owens hoping to follow suit. And Devins comes up short. We'll also watch this 2nd card in just a few moments. We have Gavin Rathbun, Eagle McMahon, and Dave Felberg on deck. Putting right now is KJ Nybo. Dustin Keegan is the fourth to round out the card that we're looking at right now on the third set of players. And Keegan taps in. I believe Keegan was originally short. I watched him throw over the drainage area, and this looks like Simon Lazat. I believe he's going to go with a wide, high right hyzer. Or he's looking at going up the middle. Maybe he switched it up. We feel a very stiff left to right wind. And that looks to be a misfire here. I think he was planning on that turning over for him. That is Eagle McMahon throwing a mid-range. Eagle's going to check the caddy guide for his next play. And Felberg's hyzer seems to have been caught up. It's on the right side. The spotter is trying to locate the disc in the tree. We'll have to see, in fact, if that had come down at all. And this is Gavin Rathbun from Illinois throwing a gentle turnover that's on the left side and then drops down inbounds. Again, Steve Rico was slotted to be on this card. He had a family emergency last night immediately following his bogey-free 11 under par. He had caught word that his father had a serious condition. He had rushed home. He got on the very first plane that he could, and we are very happy to report that his father is in fact in recovery. It looks like everything should be all right. I spoke with him last night, and love to all of the Rico family, Steve, Bamba, his father, mother, everyone. Much love to everyone over there for the Steve Rico family, and we hope for a very quick and speedy recovery. And Eagle McMahon has released a low. I do not think that's going to get to the, and it does not. Eagle McMahon struggling here on hole number 8. Looks like he's going to go with a power hyzer. And I do not believe that's going to make it in either. That is coming in, and it just clears the water with a spike hyzer. Eagle McMahon has thrown 2 consecutive shots OB and lands on the early part of the green. Eagle walks off frustrated, understandably so. This is the strongest wind we've felt here during this third round. It is a very stiff left to right. Eagle initially had thrown in a mid-range. I think he was playing it somewhat with the angle Gavin had, planning for it to flip up and slightly turn over, and it did not do that and landed very well short and in the OB water. As I'm standing here still on the tee area of hole number 8, looks like Dave Felberg will get a spot in terms of his position. Clarification as to if there's a 2-meter rule or not. I believe that it is in effect, however, I've not been notified as such. Again, I cannot confirm as to whether or not the 2-meter rule is in effect. I know it was a question on the tee. Of course, all players are to check their caddy guide. Sometimes our competitors will look to our cameramen and or me for answers. I don't claim to have them. I do not, unfortunately, have a caddy guide in my hands at the moment. I know yesterday, while covering some of the shots, a few of the women had looked our direction in terms of seeing if we were inbounds or not when they had thrown approach shots. And our cameramen do our best to kind of step aside and let those calls be made in an official capacity. If we can assist at some points, we certainly will. However, we like for the players to be able to come to their own conclusions. Somewhat uncharacteristic to be held up here on the tee of hole number 8. Again, there is usually anywhere from a 1 to 4 group backup that we find on hole number 9 today. Seems as if 8 has given a number of groups some troubles. Hole 9 looks relatively clear. We're glad you could join us for the 2017 Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. It's been a great week out here. Our competitors, of course, opened at Fountain Hills. Yesterday moved over to the Fiesta Lakes course. Today we are at Vista del Camino, and tomorrow we will conclude for Championship Saturday at the Fountain Hills Disc Golf course. We invite you to tune in for the exciting conclusion. We are also kicking off the first stop of the Disc Golf Pro Tour here for 2017. Watching the Pro Tour expand last year from 5 events to 9 events plus a finals here in 2017. All of our broadcast and supporting partners are greatly appreciated, along with UDisc Live and all of the scorekeepers and volunteers who make it all possible. And to save the double bogey 5, Eagle McMahon with a solid putt. I was trying to do the math in my head whether he had made or missed it, and I believe that comes in as a double bogey 5.
Eagle? That's
7, I'm told. Did I miss some shots?
Yeah, did 2 LB. After 2 in the water and then 6 and made a putt. I was watching correctly. 5?
No, 2 in the water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6. All right, nobody here has any clue, so I said 5. Simon and Paul originally said 7. Cale comes in with the right answer at 6.
2-meter rule, correct?
All right, I'll stick to calling other things I know very little about. Simon Lazat's going to be ready to go here on the tee in a few moments. And correction, looks like Cale has the honors. Live on hole number 8. Gentle turn by Cale's mid-range coming in perfectly, checking up on the left side of the green. Lazat with a power hyzer on the right side and sticks the landing. He'll have a putt from there for birdie 2. I believe this to be a T-bird fairway driver of sorts here by Paul Macbeth. Great shot, finishing right. Ricky will stand down for just a moment as a cyclist will pass by on this very busy bike path. And Waisaki's looking for that to slow down. It's carrying toward the OB, and he gets the safe sign. We'll see how the women played right here on hole 8. We'll be back in just a few moments. Waisaki's attempt is off the top upper entrapment here of the DGA Mach X basket. And Lizotte with the double clenched fist, frustrated that he has come up short here for the birdie. Kale Leviska looking inside 15 feet for the birdie too. Macbeth is in. We'll see a pair of birdies by Leviska and Macbeth, pars by Waisaki and Lizotte. A little bit of a hold up here on hole 9. We'll be back with some interviews after a word from our sponsor. Stay tuned. You're watching Live Disc Golf right here for the 2017 Disc Golf Pro Tour. And welcome back. We are here on hole number 9. We have both the second and first card. Looks like there may be a hat exchange taking place. I'm not sure what's going on, but maybe they'll trade their Disc Golf Pro Tour trading cards later too. Seems to be a hat convention going on over there. Simon, do you have any input on the hat conversation taking place?
I have no idea. I'm not a hat guy.
All right.
Have a different one for every outfit?
I would. They only have this color.
Matches your shirt though.
We'd like to thank Hannah Kroko here today, who is doing the live U-Disc scoring for the lead card. Hannah, you ready for an interview? Yeah, I think she is. Hannah here.
Oh no, I just happened to eat my sandwich.
We'll give you a few moments to get ready on your sandwich. You are, in fact, the 2017 GCC Advanced Women's Champion last weekend, playing very solid. How's that feel?
It feels great. It was completely unexpected. I was really nervous, but I had a really good coaching from Nate and Paul. So I really want to be sarcastic, but I really just have to say thank you to them for taking me under their wings.
Makes sense. All right, we have Gavin Rathbun getting ready on the tee here for hole number 9. This is your second card. Needless to say, you had some of your own fun in Vegas. Anytime you can bring down a title while you're there.
My first time in Vegas. My first time playing an 18, my first time in Vegas, my first time in Nevada.
You won. That's really what matters, right? How'd you do on the slots?
I didn't. Isn't that awful? I didn't even play.
All right, here's Gavin Rathbun. Gavin with a huge crush trying to get up and over the trees that may in fact have carried too long. I believe it has done just that. There's an OB path that is back behind the basket. Dave Felberg up to tee next. Dave taking a much more conventional route for playing safe, and that lands just short of a number of spectators that are waiting on the tee of the next hole. Eagle McMahon has a huge advantage here. And Eagle opts for what seems to be the split between a very aggressive run, but a safe layup conservative route. I'm really a little bit perplexed as to what he was attempting there. I know Eagle obviously has more than enough power to drive this green. However, it definitely was not a simple layup on that right side. So somewhere in between as our second card moves down the fairway. I'd like to go ahead and thank DGA for being a proud supporter here of the 2017 Disc Golf Pro Tour. Scott Kesey, the general manager, was hoping to join us here on the tee of 9, talk a little bit about DGA's products and initiatives. However, I believe he was caught up this morning in his competition. A thank you to DGA for their support here in 2017. Great question coming in from the scoring is, were we out here with the women? Hannah, what we've been doing is earlier this morning we had edited footage put together from the women's round. I believe that was thanks to Central Coast in this case. They filmed the women's round, and Steve Dodge is back at controls right now, putting together various shots from each of the holes, uploading them to the internet. Johnny V then plays them as we move down the fairway. What do you think of that?
Wow, nerd alert, but good.
And with that, I'd like to again thank all of the post-production crews out here. I'd like to thank Central Coast, as well as Prodigy Disc, Marty McGee, who is here on the leader card today, and Jomez Productions. I believe Jerry from the Jomez production crew is celebrating a birthday today, so happy birthday to him. Also, join me later tonight. I'll be bringing you a nightly recap podcast as I've done the previous 2 evenings. I believe it will be taking place at Duke's Sports Bar and Grill, right here at Vista del Camino. Be checking into the Disc Golf Guide channel. Find me there approximately 8 or 8:15 p.m. We'll bring in a number of guests, talk about the day and the tournament thus far for nearly half the 600 competitors here this week. Their competitive play ends here tonight. In fact, I believe it's more than that. All of the amateur competitors that have been competing over the last 3 days will end their run at some point here today, and there will be a cut in the professional divisions to reduce the field size to tomorrow as well. So many of our competitors will be wrapping things up right here on Friday, and we look forward to a championship Saturday taking place out at Fountain Hills, the beautiful Fountain Hills Disc Golf Course. Off in a distance, I'm seeing a great putt on hole number 12. James Conrad, who made a huge splash during the opening Disc Golf Pro Tour campaign last year. I'm also seeing Drew Gibson of Dynamic Discs. He seems to be approaching his lie. Dave Felberg on 9 with a long putt. As we sit here in this corner of the 9 and 13 interchange, or 9 and hole 12 interchange. Very large gallery has joined us. Drew Gibson just off the front of the basket to my left as we see Dave Felberg put in. And in a few moments we're going to be ready on hole number 9 on the tee. Cale will wait for just a moment as they clear out on 12. And in just a few seconds, we'll be live again with Cale Leviska on the tee of hole number 9. Cale with a mid-range going right up the middle. If that can stay clean. Looks like it was caught up. I'm not sure that he would have driven all the way to the green. I think we're going to see a similar line from Paul McBath. McBath also going up the middle, however, up and over the trees. He's going to need that to sit down before it carries left. And it's done just that. Paul McBath with an outstanding drive here on hole number 9. Cale gives him a congratulatory high five. And a nearly identical line here by Simon Lizotte with a little more power. However, he needs that to sit. The tree has caught it up and brought it down. Simon Lizotte happy about his effort here. Wysocki looks to be lining up a more conservative route from what I can see. No, he's going straight up the middle. And Wysocki got caught up by an early tree that has yet to come down to the ground. We'll see if it's going to do that. Looked to be a great line, just a little bit low as the wind is pushing in on us. And we've got a lengthy walk. We've got more coverage from the women on hole 9. We'll be back in a few moments. Wysocki must keep it low, and he skips up toward the pin. There's a very low ceiling here. And up in the tree, we see Ricky Wysocki's green, minty green. I believe that he's going to attempt to get it out here, throwing up a water bottle. Kale Leviska will be second to throw. Leviska approaches to within 15 feet. Macbeth finds himself inside circle 2. This looks to be about 45, maybe 48 feet. Simon Lizotte turns to me with a smile on his face. He was very impressed by that. Lizotte looks to be about 35, maybe 38 feet. And another fist pump here by Simon. He was a full step and a half behind the circle 1 edge, so I'll give him a full 38 feet on that. High right chain for Wysocki. However, he is somewhat dejected here. He's going to lose some strokes to Macbeth and Lazat. Kale Leviska, again, just about 15 feet from the pin. Gorgeous backdrop here on hole number 9. We have somewhat of a lengthy backup scheduled for hole 10. And very uncharacteristic of Kale Leviska. Seems to have just slightly misfired. And not what we expected. We'll see if we can bring you more women's footage and some additional card coverage right here for the 2017 Disc Golf Pro Tour. We'll be back with you in a few moments after coverage from the women and a few words from our sponsor.
Be safe, curl, curl.
Oh, you're safe.
Flashlight LED disc golf discs just changed the game. The unique Disco Select feature allows everyone to choose their own color by simply pressing the middle button, then pressing it again during the first rotation of colors when the one you want appears. Or you can leave it in disco mode, rotating through the 6 different colors for the duration of your game. Designed by serious professionals, crafted from Night Eye's unrivaled sure grip material, and featuring Night Eye's patented fiber optics array, these discs strike the perfect balance of durability, stability, performance, and just plain awesomeness. With easily replaceable batteries and an uber-long life, the Flash Flight driver, mid-range, and putter will shine as they blaze your path to victory, day or night. Night Eyes. Discover your solution.
So you think you want to play Disc Golf Pro Tour Fantasy League at Skip Ace? Well, then go to Skip Ace and sign up. Step 1, make a new user. Step 2, log in. Yeah. Step 3, get ready to win some prizes because you're joining the Disc Golf Pro Tour Fantasy League. Join the Disc Golf Pro Tour Fantasy League. Password DGPT. Might want to review the rules. If you do well, you get points. You do bad, you lose points. Easy. Step 4, make your picks. Step 5, submit your picks. Step 6, make some popcorn. We'll see you on the flip side at the Pro Tour. Out.
And welcome back. We are here on hole number 10. We've caught up with, I believe, our third group, and KJ Nybo looks to have a forehand approach lined up. Both KJ and his gallery are all color and shirt coordinated here today, along with his caddy. Love to see the teamwork there. Also see Dustin Keegan on the card here. Dustin performing very well this weekend. Devin Owens, and I have yet to, and Anthony Barella, I believe. Anthony Barella, who looks to have driven it almost pin high with a massive roller here on hole number 10. Very rarely do you talk about players being in position to possibly card a 2 here. I believe many years ago the story went that Coda Hatfield had driven this basket all the way to the pin, rolled around the pin. And with power rollers such as what we just saw from Anthony Barella, our competitors are a little bit tentative, and Devin Owens sticks the landing on top of the Mach X. I apologize, that may in fact not be Devin. If the board is currently blowing up at me, I apologize. No, that is definitely Devin's stance. It is in a distance from me. I apologize. They're going to be clearing off, and our hole 10 will be then attacked by our second group, the threesome. And we'll get into position for just that. Eagle McMahon has a number of tricks in his bag, including a huge Anheuser. I'm guessing we're going to see an Anheuser roller, or a backhand roller, that is. The wind is pushing from left to right. He comes up and over, and it did not have a chance to touch the ground on edge. However, got caught up on the right-hand trees and stopped immediately. Most players would actually be still content with the landing of that shot. However, had that connected with the ground and been able to roll, he may have gotten a few hundred additional feet from it. Here comes another turnover shot, which kicks off a tree and then carries to the right side. There's a cart path. In years past, that has in fact been inbounds. However, it can be very difficult to approach from that side. Dave Felberg, I expect a roller here. And he's coming in straight at us. And Felberg's roller is turning and seems to have split the difference between the previous two throws, however, also on the right-hand side. We've got more footage from the women's round earlier today. We'll get to that in just a few moments. You're watching live disc golf right here at the 2017 Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. Pinched up on the right side of the fairway, we have Eagle McMahon. Looks like he is trying to find a good position. He's outstretched himself in a number of different ways. Looks like he has found his best option. He's got his right foot behind. Oh, he's going to turn. Okay. Right foot still behind the mini. It's whether or not he's going to kneel. And he's done just that. We're going to see a forehand. Got approximately 250 feet to the pin. That could get a great skip. It's done just that. And it continues to roll toward the pin. That's going to be short, but with the position that he was in, I believe that was about as good as he could have hoped for. And we have a very excited fan, bringing Dave his disc from a number of holes ago. And looks as if Gavin has thrown an approach shot. Sorry, there seems to be a little chaos going on. We're doing our best to find out. Seems as if they have both approached here from this right-hand side. And Gavin did not make it through the opening. See an Anheuser jump putt. Eagle McMahon, even after struggling with his stance on the previous shot, he's still going to be lining up what looks to be a very long birdie opportunity. And that was held on just a bit long on the right side. Dave Felberg with his feet just about at basket height as he is elevated above the pin. As we heard from Dave earlier, a very strong performance last weekend, coming in first in the Masters division at the Gentlemen's Club Challenge, the PDGA National Tour event, taking place about 5 hours north in Las Vegas, Nevada area. And Ricky Wysocki is one to frequently speak of momentum, and I'm going to, I'll say, iterate that thought as the momentum has come to a screeching halt here on hole number 10, waiting for these players in the final few putts from our second card. Slightly overcast day today, and Eagle McMahon splashes out. His struggles continue. Eagle, who had struggled just a few holes back on hole number 8 with the back-to-back tee shots, finding the OB water. I also was just notified that Jordan Castro sitting at 7 under on today's round, making his charge here on what is traditionally referred to as moving day. Our card's going to move off of the hole of 10, and we're back with you now here for the tee. This is our leader card. Macbeth and Lizotte carding the birdie twos on hole 9. Those are what most would consider a bonus birdie. That hole more frequently is played for as a 3. Thanks to UDisc, I may be able to bring you some official stats found on hole number 9. Hole 9 played as a 3.53 today, so closer to a par 4 than a par 3. Hole 10 is coming in at 3.99, as most of the field, in fact 99% of the field, has played this hole here today. And a very disgruntled bicyclist passing by, asking for all disc golfers and our spectators to share the bike path that runs throughout this entire length of the course. Macbeth on the tee with a massive turnover shot that is carrying. I have to say that is the furthest air shot I have ever seen here at the Memorial Championships. I'm sorry. It does not get much better than that. I'm excited to see this shot by Simon Lizotte coming at us in just a moment. It's going to be hard to top that effort. Simon's coming in with a great turnover, very similar to Macbeth's, and that is going to come up slightly short, almost equally as impressive. It goes up and over, and just barely goes through the open air pavilion, touches off the out of bounds area, and is safe. Cale going up the middle and will come up. He hits the hillside on the short right side. He is at least 150, if not 200 feet short of the previous two throws. And Ricky Wysocki goes with a very short, tight cut roller, which is coming straight at us. Oh, and a slight kiss off a tree, a second kiss off of a tree, and it continues to roll right into the center of the fairway, still short of the previous two air shots. However, Ricky Wysocki with an amazing roller here on hole 10. We've got more of the women's coverage. We'll be back in a few moments as they move down the fairway on hole 10. The light winds and overcast skies remain as Cale Leviska has moved up the fairway here on hole number 10. Again, outdistanced by more than 100 feet by each of his competitors. Cale's still very capable of getting up and down to card a birdie 3. I believe he has a mid-range in his hands. Likely the same one we saw on hole 8 over the water. And Cale nearly touches the pole, finishes just 8 feet from the pin. Tremendous effort by Leviska. We are at the furthest point of the course away from the original starting point. If I recall, we are almost exactly 1 mile from where the course has begun on hole 10. We will then shift over to 11's tee and make our trek back the full 1 mile back, bringing us to Duke's Sports Bar and Grill. Wysocki is approximately 10 meters outside of Circle 2, making it about a 99-footer. See if he's got some heroics in store. And a light jaunt toward the basket. Wysocki thought he had given it enough of an effort. Simon Lizotte confirming whether or not the slab of concrete is in fact OB. Simon looking to play it safe and not take the 1 meter in. He's not sure if it's inbounds or not, so he will not take the 1 meter relief. And Lizotte content to put it underneath the basket. Paul Macbeth lining up what looks to be 52 feet here on this more than 600-foot hole for Eagle. Paul not able to convert on the eagle attempt. However, these are 4 of the easiest birdies you will ever see in a group here on hole number 10. Wysocki from 12, Leviska from 10 or 8, Macbeth from the same, and Lizotte from 2 feet. 4 of the easiest birdies ever recorded here on hole number 10. We've got a long walk to the tee of 11. We'll be back right here for the 2017 Memorial Championships presented by Discraft.
time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.
Safe shot by Paul Macbeth on this 759-foot par 4. Another safe shot here by Simon Lizotte. And all four competitors with very safe shots right into the fairway. That's going to sit down nicely. We've got more action for you from hole number 11 with the women's coverage from earlier today.
Big skip. I missed the sidewalk. Get up there. More. Dang.
Kale flirting with the right side OB. And what a turn of events that hits the tree in front of him, however, then hits the stump on the tree further up the fairway and then just kicks left and OB. Back roll by Simon Lizotte. He gets a clap from the gallery, although I'm not sure he's content with that effort. Wysocki plays the forehand out over the OB sidewalk on the left side. You have a slight uphill putt from there. Gentle touch by Kale Leviska as he comes up just short of the pin, touches the pole. Simon Lizotte seems to be positioned about halfway between circle 1 and circle 2, maybe a little closer to the circle 2 edge. And Ricky, the only one to take advantage of the second par 4 on this backside. Hole number 10, he's in for the 3. Macbeth will card the bogey 5. Simon Lizotte will take the par 4. Kale Leviska will do the same. We've got a walk over to hole number 12, a very beautiful hole at Vista del Camino. We'll be back in just a few moments. at 351 feet uphill. Ricky Wysocki comes up about 3 feet short of the inbounds area. He will have to throw an additional shot as he did not make it into the inbounds platform. Simon Lizotte with a mid-range going up and over and getting onto the platform. He's carried to the right as that Anheuser the entire way. And Leiviska, similar to Ricky Wysocki, is short on right. And Macbeth with a forehand destroyer is tracking to the right of the pin.
Nice.
And again, safely on the green. He'll be picking up at least a stroke or two on a few of his competitors. We'll get a confirmation as to the OB procedure. Wysocki's able to go with a hyzer line at this and comes in right of the pin. Kale Leiviska is going to take a similar drop. And Kale could use a skip left. We're going to move up on this right side of the fairway. The women were here earlier. We'll check in with them from hole number 12.
Gosh.
These guys may be moving fast. That or a little less. Simon's going to putt right now. And Simon putting from 40 feet does not draw medal. He's giving himself even a little bit of a second guessing there. Of course, with a half smile on his face. Cale is in and will save the bogey 4. Macbeth in for the lone birdie here on hole number 12. Simon cleans up for 3. And Wysocki in for the bogey 4. It's a gorgeous day out here at Vista del Camino. We're through 2/3 of the course. We've got a long walk, a trek back to hole number 13. We'll be back with you after a word from our sponsors right here for the 2017 Disc Golf Pro Tour. here with Gavin Rathbun, who has just driven on hole number 13. Dave Felberg, third to tee. And Felberg plays the wide right hyzer, coming in toward the pin and short. There's your 3 drives here on hole number 13 from the second card. And in just a few moments, I'm going to be rejoined by our PDGA event director and coordinator, all-around superstar. You're no longer the interim executive director. I think we threw that term around for a few different people, including Marty Gregoire. But again, I'm joined here by Michael Downs. And Michael, what are we seeing out here on the course today?
Just some amazing disc golf. We've got light winds, actually. The winds went down a little bit this morning, so the guys are taking full advantage of it right now.
Well, they are, and what we're seeing right here from a scoring perspective is Paul McBeth sitting at 25 under par. Simon Lizotte tied with him also at 25 under par. Cale Leviska at 24. Nate Sexton making a charge thanks to UDisc Live. We're seeing Nate is at 8 under par for the round, currently is the hottest round of all competitors, and we see him in a sole position of 4th place, and Wysocki sitting at 22 under, overall sitting in 5th. So between 5th and 1st, is separated by just 3 strokes. I send some fireworks tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's not a surprise. I mean, they do it here every single year, year after year, and you know, Fountain's really going to be the decider tomorrow with all the water and the OB in play, and if the winds do pick up, we really could see, you know, fireworks to the finish or someone run away with it, depending on how hot a hand gets.
Well, we've been blessed with nearly perfect weather for the first 3 days. I'm not going to jinx it for tomorrow. Maybe I just did. No, we've been blessed with very good weather out here. The AM side has wrapped up and has concluded. They played 3 rounds out here. What does that tell you about the growth of our sport, that we have amateur competitors here and they've played 3 days all during the week?
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's neat, you know, kind of the way they do this. That initially when they set it up to be a Wednesday through Saturday tournament, it was with the eye of, you know, trying to get an extra travel day in for the players here. But it makes it extra challenging on a lot of the amateur players here. But with, you know, over 550 players here this week and a stout amateur field, it's just impressive to see the growth of the sport and to see that there's that many people that want to come out here and compete in this high caliber event in the middle of the week. So it's exceptional for them, and it's a testament to just wanting to be in the desert when it's winter everywhere else.
All right, well, I think we can get back to the action. Thank you for joining us. Paul McBeth is ready on the tee. Let's get back. You're watching live disc golf right here on Smashbox TV. And Paul McBeth ready to go. Excellent shot by McBeth, finishing left of the pin. And Lizotte's going to hang it wider right, hoping to dial in right at the basket, and sticks the landing. Wysocki follows suit, and 4th to tee, Cale Leviska. That's got to work its way back to the fairway. I believe it's going to, and it hits and stops. Kale holding his breath there for a few moments. We've got more coverage from the women here on hole 13. We'll be back in a few moments right here from Vista del Camino. And Ricky from 32 feet is in and out. Just a bit high, however, we expected that to drop into the basket. Simon is in. That is a birdie to Paul McBeth at about the same distance, approximately 22 feet. McBeth converts. Kale and Wysocki are going to be cleaning up for par threes here. Looks like our second card is somewhat backed up on hole number 14. We'll be back in a few moments after a word from our sponsors right here from the Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. And welcome back as we are here on the tee of 14. I'd like to thank Michael Downs with the water refreshment. Also thank Paul Macbeth. He so generously offered a half of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to me, although I'm good. Macbeth sharing, however, a little bit of the lead right now with Simon Lizotte sitting at 26 under par. Cale Leviska at 24, tied with Nate Sexton. This is a long par 4. Here we are, hole 14. Macbeth opting for the gentle hyzer route. There's a huge anhyzer route. Looks as if Simon will go with the same route Paul did. Again, the players must play a hyzer back to the center of the fairway. There's a mandatory tree, and Simon easily inside of that mandatory. Ricky Wysocki lining up the same route. That's a little bit wider, however, after it comes down and skips. It will be just fine. And Cale's going to get a flare skip here, I'm guessing, and it's done just that. We've got more footage from the women on hole 14. We'll be back in a moment, right here from Vista del Camino.
Get down, quick, 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 quick. God damn it. No skip. Come on. Oh, shoot. Come on. Tree to tree. Come down.
Macbeth with a mid-range here, approaching to the basket. At home, you guys can play a little game of CTP. Macbeth, Leviska, and Lizotte all within 10 feet of one another. We'll see who can throw the closest CTP for approach. And trying to fight through the right-hand side, Leviska's hung his mid-range just a bit right. And Lizotte with a approach short and left. Now Wysocki had gotten about 20 more feet, maybe 25 feet further than the rest of his card mates. Looks like it's going to set him up for a forehand from one knee. shows Ricky's just raw power, throwing a forehand from a knee, and checks up nicely next to the basket. As we walk down the fairway of hole 14, Cale Aviska had asked how things were going on our end. I said, I think we're killing it. We're enjoying the show. We're enjoying the day out here. Thanks to the Disc Golf Pro Tour, along with the Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. I'd like to thank Steve Dodge and all of the supporting partners, event partners, tour partners. Thank you for making everything possible as you're enjoying live disc golf right here at Vista del Camino on the third day of the Memorial Championships. And just before Cale was lining up to putt, there was a spectator approximately 40 feet from him. His cell phone was going off. Cale regrouped momentarily. Great birdie here by Simon Lizotte, taking advantage of the par 4. Both Ricky Wysocki and Paul Macbeth find themselves within 8 feet of the basket. And Paul had won the CTP approach game, looking at 6 feet to the pin, and he's in for birdie. There's a slight backup on the next par 4. We'll be back with you in a few moments. You're watching Live Disc Golf right here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour from Vista del Camino.
Paul's probably throwing a monster here or something like that.
Whoa.
Whoa, okay. Or that. That.
Oh.
Oh my goodness, I knew there was something. Whoa.
Always thrown Innova and competed with Innova. I don't think I'd be playing the sport if it wasn't for creating the disc itself and then just taking it to the next level over and over and over again. How great the discs are themselves. It's really gained my trust, and I don't think I would be here without Innova. I don't see myself doing anything else.
Welcome back as we are joining the group on hole number 15. This is our second card. A moment ago, Gavin Rathbun had thrown his drive. Fellow teammate and 2008 world champion Dave Felberg threw his roller drive. Comes up approximately 50 feet short of Gavin's. And ready to show off a little here is Eagle McMahon. He's putting down a roller. And however, that stood up quicker. And Gavin has come up just past where Eagle McMahon rolled to. If I'm going to talk out of order about our throws, that's the way to do that. And that is all three of the competitors, I believe. They're going to come down the fairway. We also are seeing action from the second half of hole 15. Dustin Keegan throwing his approach shot. That is his third shot. This par 4 has two different mandatories that players must navigate to the right side of. The green is also protected by a sidewalk. Devin Owens completes hole number 15. We also see KJ Nybo and Anthony Barella. This is your third card. In a moment, I'll check in with udisclive.com. We've talked a number of times about the men's scores today. I'm going to briefly recap what we saw on the women's side. Plug your ears if you're worried about a spoiler, because Paige Pierce right now has extended her lead, shooting the hottest score of the women at a +1 today. She sits at 3 under par. Sarah Hokum shot a +2 and has moved to +3 overall, 6 back of Paige Pierce. Katrina Allen shooting a +3 and sits on the leader card, however, is 12 strokes back of the lead of Paige Pierce. Dave Felberg lining up a wide hyzer to get past the two mandatories found on hole 15. And although he was safe on the first one, he catches a tree halfway between him and the basket. Eagle McMahon will be throwing second. Eagle with a great angle from where he's at. He does have to worry about the footing on this hillside. However, with the power and angle in which he possesses, he should have a very good look at attacking the basket. You want to make sure you come in with a spike if you're throwing a high, wide shot. Anything that comes in flat may hit near the green and carry past it to the OB sidewalk. And skipping up toward the basket, throwing short, playing the dry grass here at Vista. Double skip. He's looking at birdie. Gavin also with a cannon, but hits the tree. He's going to be hoping to get up and down from there for 4. We'll see the group move down, and as they do so, Ricky Wysocki's making his way back to the tee area. As we're waiting here on hole number 15, I'd like to thank the amazing crew that we have here on Smashbox TV that's done such tremendous effort these past few days. Looking forward to finishing out today and tomorrow as strong as possible. We've got Rick Hushain on throw camera. We also have Chad Inman on the catch, Johnny V and Gary to the O back in Milwaukee, giving you your graphics and all the informations from Johnny V Studios. Macbeth on the tee, throwing an air shot, flexing out nicely, and finds himself on the right side of the fairway again. If you want to be anywhere on this fairway, it is to be on the right side so that you have a better line for the approach. Simon Lizotte on the tee. We feel a slight headwind. He's also going with an air shot, somewhat surprising. Would have loved to have seen a roller, but Simon gets past, more than 60 feet past Paul Macbeth's shot, and has already gotten past the first mandatory. Wysocki with a roller. That's going to head toward the hillside. The players do have to be very careful, as a roller that's coming in too hot can actually slip through the fence on the right-hand side. And Kale center fairway, short of the rest of the group. Again, your scoring update shows Paul Macbeth and Simon Lizotte tied for the lead at 27 under par. Nate Sexton with the hot round thus far at 10 under through 16 holes at 25 under. Kale Leviska at 24. KJ Nybo and Ricky Wysocki both tied at 23. Eagle McMahon at 22. Johnny McRae is in the clubhouse with his 10 under par. That is officially the hottest score in the clubhouse. We see that Nate Sexton will be knocking on that, has the opportunity to best that, as do Simon Lizotte and Paul Macbeth, that the holes that remain. Johnny McRae, of course, found last week on the Gentlemen's Club Challenge leader card, shooting very well. Him like Dave Felberg, eligible for the Masters division, however, found themselves to be most competitive as he took a very solid game plan over the Gentlemen's Club Challenge last weekend. Kale Leviska will be first to throw. And Kale playing the low skip shot that we saw earlier and hits one of the trees that was coming in right at the basket. And Wysocki getting brought down by one of the left side guardian trees. Macbeth going with a Star Destroyer up and over and hitting right near the basket, but what may be carrying, and no, getting the safe sign. The gallery behind the basket, I thought that was for sure carrying OB, however he is in fact safe. That may have too much height. That is carrying hard left. That needs to sit. And Simon with a sigh of relief. That was definitely heading out of bounds. However, it came in with just the right amount of angle to stop and remain in bounds. Ricky opts for a long jump putt from more than 100 feet. Cale lunges forward here on his birdie attempt, however, off the front of the cage. And Simon, from a sigh of relief to jubilation, finds himself with a birdie 3 here on the par 4. And Paul releases low, another inside the circle putt, missed by Macbeth. And Paul will relinquish the lead as he frustratingly throws into the basket. Cale will be tapping in. Looks like our second card is clearing off of hole 16. We'll be back with you in a few moments. You're watching the third round coverage right here from the Disc Golf Pro Tour and the Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. And welcome back to hole number 16 here at the Vista del Camino course. Simon Lizotte carded the only birdie 3 here on 15, taking a one-stroke advantage with 3 holes left to play here today. And that carries right just inside the circle 2 indicator. Paul looking for a little extra carry here as it's trying to move up the hill on 16. And Ricky Wysocki getting excited here with his tee shot. And the only thing smoother than Cale LaVisca's throw is the calls by Robert McCall.
Nice.
We'll be back with him in a few moments. First, let's check out the action from the women right here on hole 16. Lazat opts for the layup here from inside circle 2. And Macbeth not giving that a chance on this uphill putt on hole number 16. And from the edge of circle 1, Levisca's putt is short, just off the front of the basket. Wysocki's got an opportunity here to gain a stroke on the rest of the card. And he's made very quick work of just that. The other 3 competitors will be walking away with par 3s. They'll be tapping in, and we're going to move on. Hole 17, the shortest hole at Vista del Camino. Let's plan on an ace for SportsCenter tonight. We'll be back in just a moment. Wysocki comes in perfectly with the forehand, puts himself within 10 feet of the pin. And not giving that a chance to stay in bounds was Simon Lizotte. That was hot out of his hands from the get-go. Paul Macbeth can regain the lead here.
Shot ball.
And a near perfect shot by Kale Leviskok. We've got women's coverage from hole 17. We'll be back in a moment.
Oh no. Get over there. Well, it landed in bounds.
All moving with the flow of play, finds the bottom of the basket for the birdie two. And Simon Lizotte is here for the par save. Simon, after going OB, brings it back in the 1 meter. We see a slight backup on hole number 18 at the moment. Ricky taps in from just a few feet away. Kale will do the same. We see 3 birdies and a 3 on hole 17. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors. You're watching Live Disc Golf right here from the Memorial Championships.
Sun King Discs, established in 2001. Florida's most respected name in disc sports. Official retail merchandiser of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Currently on tour supporting Discraft and DGA live inventory, free shipping at $12. All orders $19.99, ships in a box, includes single discs, large selection of both stock and collectibles. Check out the website at www.sunkingdiscs.com.
And Dave Felberg with a very nice drive out over the water here on hole number 18. Simon Lizotte, more power, going to be getting a little bit of a skip. And it comes in near the basket and sits down. Simon Lizotte next to the pin here on hole 18. Gavin Rathbun to tee third and final. And Gavin knows that needs to sit quickly. He's motioning for it. Hot skip coming in, and just that carried left of the pin and into the water. OB, as our second card is moving off of their final hole of the day. That is will be their 54th hole here in competition. And we see both Ricky and Kale Leviska lining up for what will be their final hole of the day as well. We're going to be moving into Championship Saturday tomorrow out at the Fountain Hills Disc Golf Course. And briefly, we're going to check in also here after these guys give their high fives and their congratulations, a few smiles amongst them all. Fierce competitors. And someone that gives me more competition every time he gets on the mic is Robert McCall. Robert, you're out here working with Dynamic Disc. You become the new team manager.
That's
is
right.
that so?
That's right.
Everybody reports to you? How does that happen?
That's right. And also, as the team manager name would suggest, I carry around orange slices and give water bottles, carry towels, you know, the important stuff mostly.
Keeping the team hydrated, healthy,
That's
and
right.
well.
That's right.
And probably shooting under par.
Hopefully.
Paige Pierce is out to a 6-stroke advantage over Sarah Holcomb. I believe she has 9 or more on third place in Katrina Allen.
That's right.
Solid performance by Paige for the second weekend in a row here, or maybe the third or fourth or fifth weekend in a row.
That's exactly right. No, Paige has been playing really well. It seems like she has really good confidence in the disc that she's using, and it seems like she's just, I don't know, her attitude is really good. You know, it's not that it was ever really bad, but you can see that she's excited, you know, and she's making a lot of putts and throwing a lot of really good shots. You know, her new signature disc is called the Convict, Paige Pierce Convict, and she's been throwing that, I mean, all over the place, exceptionally well too.
You're not going to say she plays with conviction, are you?
No, I would never do that. I'll leave that to you, man.
All right, all right.
I'll leave the puns to you.
Well, we see Paul McBeth currently sitting at 28 under par, Simon Lizotte at 28, and the other two on this lead card, Wysocki and Leviska, sitting at 25. There's going to be some fireworks out at Fountain Hills tomorrow.
Absolutely. And, you know, I was talking to Paul Ulibarri earlier today, and he told me anybody who shoots under He-Man par, so under, if you just count everything as a par 3, right? Anyone who shoots under He-Man par is going to be moving up, and I was like, I don't know, man, you know, because I've never been out here before, and so I was like, I don't know. I mean, there's lots of birdies and stuff, and I've seen, I mean, this course has some teeth, honestly. When the wind is up even a little bit, it seems to be shifting directions. There's a lot of artificial OB that you can find really easily, and so I feel like y'all have probably seen some of that from your lead card competitors today. I've only gotten to follow them for the last few holes, but this is a difficult course. It's, if you watch it on video, you're like, I can throw a 380, but with the elevation changes and with the wind, those 380 shots are actually 450, 460, and into a tight landing zone. So it's been really fun to watch. These guys are very, very good at throwing discs.
We have to be careful to not use that tagline, these guys are good. I think the PGA will
I
come
wonder if
after
these guys
us.
are very good.
Exactly.
So,
I appreciate that. We're going to get back to the action as they're clearing out on hole number 18. This is our second card, which is a threesome. We discussed earlier that Steve Rico had a family emergency. After checking in with him last night, he said that everything's all right. Everyone is okay back at home in Sylmar, California. But again, much love to the entire Rico family. Team Legacy and all of the disc golfers far and wide are backing and supporting you guys, and an official big Smashbox big hug to you guys, and we wish you the best with a quick and speedy recovery. Gavin Rathburn looking for a quick and speedy recovery from the OB. He's able to manage a penalty 3. Robert, where I'm from, we would call that a circle 3, meaning you circle it on the scorecard indicating the OB stroke. That kind of conflicts with a regular scoring system in stick golf.
Yeah,
but
right.
Where you're from, do you call it a 3P or do you call it a circle 3?
I call it a circle 3. Most everybody out here says 3P. I wrote a bunch of 3P and 4Ps down on the cards that I was keeping track of today. But yeah, it's a circle 3 for me. And quickly about Gavin Rathman, I got to walk with his card because I was caddying for Zach Melton yesterday. And Gavin is, he's solid. Like, he did not have a very good round today. Seemed like he got some bad breaks and I don't know, maybe some nerves. I can't comment on that. I didn't watch, but man, kid can throw. He is good, so be watching out for him in the future.
He can crush, and we're here with Ricky Wysocki on hole number 18 for our 54th hole of the Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. And any nerves that our competitors may have certainly dissipated here, at least by Ricky Wysocki, as he's placed himself nicely onto the green. And McMath seems to have released with not as much power as he needed. That will work. However, I think he could have used more power on that tee shot. This is Kale Laviska. Kale playing a wider hyzer, looking for a big skip. And he'll be on the green. And flirting with the right OB is Simon Lizotte. However, he'll left with a nearly pin-high putt. We're moving down 18 right here from Vista del Camino.
Thank God this. Simon Lizotte will be first to putt. Solid finish by Simon Lizotte. I do not see our circle indicators that look to be about 33 feet. He was right around circle's edge, actually, now that I see a faint line.
a miscue here by Cale Leviska. Cale uncharacteristically missing a number of putts here today. And with authority, Macbeth is in. Ricky Wysocki left with less than 6 feet. Cale will have a full 10 feet for cleanup. And Cale is in. As our players move off of the green, we're going to give them just a few moments. We're going to stand down, listen to a word from our sponsors, then we'll be back with an interview with one of our competitors. Stay tuned. You're watching Live Disc Golf right here at the 2017 Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. I think we're back. Welcome back, everyone. I am joined here by Nate Sexton. Nate, let's talk a little bit about your round today, because I think everyone's going to see you tomorrow.
Yeah, let's do it. I think I tied Paul for the hot round of the day, 11 down, 49. Really solid. I missed 16 and 17 coming down the stretch, so that was annoying. But other than that, I was doing really well. I made back-to-back Circle 2 putts on 12 and 13. Those 2 water holes, so that was pretty cool, 50-footer and a 45-footer. And, yeah, I was throwing some big rollers on the par 4s and getting up and down, so it was definitely a solid round for me.
All right, so overall, you're sitting at what?
26.
Okay, and we also saw as the leaderboard was about to walk off, I think we see a pair of 29s.
And a pair of 26s.
And a pair of 26s. Now we're heading over to Fountain Hills. Now that we've seen all 3 courses, if you could pick a course to finish on tomorrow, is there any one in particular that you'd like to finish on?
Fountain Hills, sure.
Good answer.
I don't have a choice. Let's do Fountain Hills. I mean, I love Fountain Hills. I think it'll take about a 40 to catch those dudes, but I know I'm capable of it.
Well, we've seen some excellent play throughout the weekend. What was on your card today in terms of demeanor? Not necessarily the scores, but who were you playing with, and how did that help maybe push you into the solid round that you had?
I was playing on the 4th card, I believe, with Philo, Nate Perkins, and Jordan Castro. Jordan started out with a nice 4 out of 4. I missed hole 1, and then I kind of matched up with him on the next 4. And then Philo, played a solid round. I think he did a 52. He hit like a 55-footer right before my 50-footer, so it was a nice little inspiration putt by him. And Nate Perkins, really nice guy, but had a tough day, but a guy that I like to play with. So, he had never played the course before, so I was doing a lot of just kind of, hey, man, look out for that OB, and, that just kind of keeps the mood light if I'm just sort of helping him through it and just kind of executing the shots I'm trying to tell him about.
So you provide top-notch commentary, you provide a little bit of course insight, and then you come out here and shoot one of the hottest rounds. What don't you do?
Bogey.
Okay, fair enough. Well, this is Nate Sexton. We're going to see him on the leader card tomorrow. It should be very exciting for the finish that we're going to be bringing you from Fountain Hills. It's been a great week here for the Disc Golf Pro Tour, as well as the Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. We've got to thank all of the amazing supporters and sponsors and people that are making this happen. I've got to thank my awesome crew that's been bringing you the coverage here this week. We've got Johnny V, Gary to the O back at the controls, Chad Inman, Rick Hushane, and for Nate Sexton and Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Championship Saturday when you step inside the Smashbox.
All right.